Hi everyone, Olivia Reiner here for Packers News, joined by Jim Owczarski, and today we are taking a look at the linebackers of the 2019 season. The Packers made quite the splash in free agency and in the draft, acquiring some edge rushers, including Rochon Gary, both Preston and Zadarius Smith. Because of the depth, I guess you could say, at that position, how many snaps do you see Rochon Gary getting? Do you think that having those more experienced veteran guys ahead of them will impact the amount of experience he's able to get this season?
Yeah, definitely. And oh no, by the way, team leader in sacks, Kyler Fackrell, 10.5 last year, is still around too. So I think for Rochon Gary, it clearly they drafted him for a reason. They believe he can play in 2019, but it really takes a lot of pressure off your number one pick, which is it's a luxury. He can come in and just either, as Mike Pettin said, go this way to the quarterback, right? He can rush the passer, work on that part of his game. He'll have to drop back. Maybe Mike Pettin will want to incorporate some things so they're not telegraphing exactly what Rochon Gary's going to do when he's out there. But let's be real, yeah, he can just go after the quarterback and look, if he's out there with Zadarius Smith, with Preston Smith, with Kyler Fackrell, he's the unknown quantity, at least at the outset, Olivia. So, maybe Zadarius Smith gets a double team. Maybe Kenny Clark gets a double team. Rochon Gary is put in a position to succeed early. So, yes, maybe his snaps aren't that many, but I think, A, that's going to be okay with the Packers, and B, I think they feel he can be very productive in such limited snaps.
So the Packers spent big money on both of the Smiths. Also, in his contract year is Blake Martinez. Will the Packers be able to sort of spend the same amount of money? What kind of year does Blake Martinez need to have this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's a really kind of under-the-radar element to that linebacker room, because let's not forget Kenny Clark is also in a contract year. I mean, he can play under his fifth-year option next year, but I think, that's a priority, right? And you can't pay everybody. So Blake Martinez, obviously a team leader, great locker room guy, makes a ton of tackles. He's a good player. But the linebacker position is changing around the league. It's changing on this Packers team. Look, he had 5 sacks last year, but he'd be the first to tell you that, he needs to make more splash plays with turnovers, needs to be a little better in his run fits, and frankly, can he cover tight ends? Can he run sideline to sideline and chase running backs? I mean, it's a different league. You're seeing Mike Pettin bring down safeties to play hybrid linebacker roles. So, look, I expect him to fill the stat sheet and be Blake Martinez, but you're right. The question is, what's the value there, right? Is he more valuable in Green Bay doing what he does in the middle, or is he more valuable maybe elsewhere, playing a more traditional, sort of 4-3, 3-4 middle linebacker? I don't know. It's a great question, Olivia. It's kind of under the radar, but it's kind of worth watching because, look, the team settled on James Crawford at inside linebacker behind him. Oren Burks is in year 2. So they are trying to develop some depth behind him because, again, at the end of the day, not everyone can make $8 to $10 million a year.
All right, some questions that we will have throughout this upcoming season. Make sure you're checking out PackersNews.com for all of our other previews over there. Also, follow us on media for more Packers updates. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.